I am sure sports. You know me there, I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Trick Nick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
All right. Greetings and welcome to I Am Sure Sports. Good evening, one and all. Yes, this is your host, Man in His Man. And today we have a good interview lined up for you. We are going to speak to the man from that institution out there, just outside of Falmouth, Jamaica, right there on the borders on your way to Montego Bay. You see it on the left-hand side. Painted in green, and I think that color is purple. I don't know. That's a very strange color. Yes, man. That school that Usain Bolt went to, they call it William Knibb Memorial High School. Yeah, we're going to talk to the man from down there, one of the standout footballers. We're going to introduce him shortly. I have to let him suffer in the background because he's wearing a particular Premier League color. So that opposes my Premier League team. So I'm going to leave him lingering in the background for a while, suffering before I bring him onto the scene to talk some football. So, people, while he stays around there, anticipating, let me say a big thank you to the sponsors of this video. Prestige Finance, lending a helping hand when you need it the most. Call them at 876-884 7390. And if you call them and let them know that you are calling having heard about them from I Am Sure Sport, here is what you will get. You will pay no processing fee, same day processing, and 0 to 4% interest rate. Also want to big up also Launch Legacy. Yes, Launch Legacy. Handle risk, seek legacy for all your personal insurance needs in Canada and the USA. Visit them at Launch Legacy or call or text 647-989-0782. Check them out. Yes, and then they will help you to secure your future from a financial perspective. All right. Also, want to say a big thank you to all our subscribers. We thank you for subscribing to the platform, and we want to get to 3,000 subscribers, and you can be a part of that by getting someone else to subscribe. Get the people in your household. Let them know. Listen, you can subscribe even if you may not watch all the content. We are diversifying our product. And so we'll be giving financial advice, mental health advice. So they may, you never know, need information from one of those things. So get them to subscribe, man. Get them to like the product, and also get them to share it. You can also contribute to the channel by making a super chat or by sending a super sticker. People tell me, I see some persons from, I see Kevin Keegan up and early, Baller Cardamon from out of Trelawny is in the building. Gunners boss. He knows Trelawny. He says uptown Dallas, Texas. He knows what he's talking about. And the first female in the scene is the one out of Clarendon. Shem in the building. Greetings and welcome one and all. Has he suffered enough, or should I keep him around here a little longer? I don't know. Bless up, Mr. Da Silva. Not nice in the building. Yeah, that's what we do to Liverpool fans. We keep them in the background so Arsenal can stay in the spotlight. All right, too much of this now. I think he can really. Good evening. Good evening.
Manis. Yes, Manis, man. Bless up, man. Thank you for having me tonight. You know?
So good to have. Let me apologize for keeping you long. You know what I'm saying? But you know how it is. It's a little.
I understand, man. The bills have to be paid. I get it, man. Don't worry yourself, man.
First, let me address the shirt that you're wearing. No. We won't get into. See, things are starting to tumble around you. You know. See the little sign beside you fell aside already.
Yeah, that's all right, man. You see right there. That is what my son can buy me. You know, reserved for that. So when Saturday and Sunday come, they know what time it is. You know,
they know what time it is. Of course.
Yeah. So folks who know me is a diehard Liverpool fan from the barn and stuff. You know, so
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I wear the red on. I wear the red proudly. You know.
Yeah. Everyone that I talk to say, yeah, man. Everyone I've spoken to, you know what? One of the first things they say is that them man they love Liverpool more than me. You know.
Yes, man. Hey, so we decided to put on my 1977. You know.
All right.
Champion in 1977. As a matter of fact, this one was actually signed by Kenny Dalglish himself. You know.
Whoa! So the shirt that you actually had on was a jersey that they wore in 1977.
This shirt is Kevin Keegan's shirt.
No, not the Kevin Keegan in the chat.
No, not that Kevin Keegan. So what the management? You can't understand this. A man named Kevin Keegan.
Yeah.
I don't understand it either.
A man here. Let me just put up his comment right here. A man named Kevin Keegan.
It don't make sense, right? Some things just don't make sense.
All right.
But I bless up my brethren Keegan, man. Him a stalwart William Knibb, man. You know, we love Keegan and all that he does for the school and stuff.
Didn't he also attend school in Kingston? Didn't he leave William Knibb?
Yes. He moved from William Knibb and went to Camperdown.
Camperdown.
But you know, from here William Knibb, you know.
There you go,
we picnic them, you know.
Yeah, man. All right, let's get into our interview again. Thanks for making yourself available to come on. Really appreciate it. And I know this is going to be a good time. Trelawny is rolling out as usual. One thing I'll say is that when the Trelawny people are on, Trelawny rolls out. You understand me in a mighty and strong way. So that's always good to see. But I want you to tell us about your journey from your earliest days in football, all the way up to your high school career in Jamaica. And then we'll talk about you going overseas in your college years and stuff. So go ahead and share your story for the people out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those who don't know, I'm not a born Jamaican. I never born in Jamaica. I born in England. I born in London, South London, a small town called Clapham, which is just about like a mile outside Brixton, So that's where I was born and that's when I was raised when I was 12. And then at 12 years old, that is the time I moved from from London to Jamaica, right? So within that time period of prior to moving to Jamaica, I've always loved the game of football, right? Football is what we play in football season, and then you play a little cricket in cricket season. But football was my first passion and first joy, and we've always been playing football, right? We watched football on TV, watched from Division One. That is what it was called at that time before it named Premier League. And then, you watch a bit of World Cup when we were younger as well. So everything that we see on TV, right? We used to have a playground not too far from where I lived. And that's where we go to the playground and just do everything that we saw on TV. So if a man do an overhead kick, you're going to learn the overhead kick, If you learn how to curl the ball, you're going to learn how to curl the ball and stuff. But that's what it was, that's how profound the game of football was with us, right? And even everybody growing up in the community was just the same way, and it was a predominantly West Indian community as well, in Clapham where we lived as well. So, there was heavily Jamaican influence when I was young, So even though growing up in England and we speak a certain way, it's easy to understand the Jamaican vernacular because your parents are Jamaican and your neighbor are Jamaican and your friend them down the road who's English as well, but their parents are Jamaican and stuff like that. So the assimilation into the Jamaican culture was there at a very, very young age, So I started out playing competitive football probably about like 8 or 9. We used to play Little League, and I know you're an Arsenal fan too, but but I have a little love for Arsenal, and I'm gonna segue into that so you can pick up.
There you go, because the man is from London. The man is from born in London and support Liverpool. But it's your story, your night.
That's
just
right.
Just want you to know that the William Knibb people are not happy. They're already saying that you should have worn purple and green. See?
Oh, they should have. Oh,
Hope
no.
Need to change the jersey purple and green tonight.
Right? So me tell you one, Keegan, if send me the jersey, send it to me in time. So me have to put on the red and white and the purple and
yeah, but go ahead and
yes, man. So we play a little league, 8-9-year-old league for kids and stuff like that, and that was a local, league for kids and stuff like that. But I kind of honed my talent there, and then from there at little league at the same time I was playing for my primary school as well. So we had a primary school team as well, Hazelrig Primary School. So I played primary school football there and stuff. Now, up until 11, right? That's when you switch from primary school and then you go to secondary school. That's what it was back then. There was no high school back then, So I went to a secondary school called Henry Thornton Secondary School in Clapham. And that is where I start get into the football game, like real deep, real seriously, and the game and my game became increasingly competitive. So at 11 years old, when you're playing in secondary school, each year, that's grade 11. Sorry, grade 7 will be like the first year. They call it the first year, right? You're rookie, the first year in school, and each year, second, third, fourth, up to 5th, every year had a football team. So you cut it by age, right? In the year that you're in. We had a brilliant team at Henry Thornton for the first year. So we had, if I can recall, we had players like Kevin Campbell. If you know Kevin Campbell, used to play for Arsenal. And that's where the tie-in come in.
Oh, okay.
So Kevin Campbell, we had a kid named Mark Calvert, Sean Stevens, who he and I used to play on the left-hand side. And then we had guys like Gary Randall, Jeffrey Bockway. We used to have this Pakistani kid as well called Mujibal, and this kid was really, really good, at a young age and stuff. So, when you're playing in secondary school in London, you play, pretty much go anywhere in London and play, and then you have cups to play with and stuff. And that first year, we didn't even lose a game that first year. We didn't lose a game that first year. Won every game and stuff. So we were becoming like quite high profile. Everybody's knowing about this Henry Thornton team, the first year team. I mean, we were so good in the first year that we were playing second and third year and beating them. That's how good the 11-year-olds were, at that time and stuff, So and then so we moved into the second year. I know there was one game that we were playing. I can't remember what the team's name is, but it was I think it was somewhere in East London. And it was in, let's say, predominantly white and National Front type people, and that is the first experience that I got of racism, right? I mean, you had people on the sideline. We were playing this team. We had people on the sideline, like, kick the ball in the back of the net, and N-word and all of these things here and stuff. And we were like 11, 12 years old. We get semblance of it, and we get reports on it, and your family and your parents, them kind of teach you and stuff like that. Like, hey, you can look out for these things here and stuff in London. But it's a far cry when you actually have it directed at you, right? And stuff. So that was something that was that was memorable for me, and even up to this day, I don't forget it and stuff like that. But it's funny because our coach, Mr. Joyce, who was white, and he saw all of that in the second half, man, the man will say, look, just ignore all of that and just ram it down them throat second half, man. Yeah, man, about 4 or 5 them get when the game done, man. So that is sort of like your payback, right? You just beat them and you beat them badly, Yeah. So so going into my second year now, I didn't stay long, right? Because I'm transitioning to Jamaica, So I guess moving to Jamaica was kind of right. I'm excited to go to Jamaica because, it's a land that me always hear about. I have my oldest brother who live in Jamaica, and I've never seen him yet, and I'm, dying to see him and stuff, and that all of these things I'm more excited about. But on the flip side of that is like shit, man. I'm leaving England at a very young age, and I'm kind of really getting established with this football thing and stuff, and and then me have to up and leave, So it was very hard, leaving England when I did at the time, because I was settled in, I had my network of kids, network of friends and stuff, and then then my father just decided to retire and then go back to Jamaica and stuff. So I was 12 years old at the time. I can't look after myself.
So, your father and family just uprooted and just moved back to Jamaica?
That's right. So my father and mother, they divorced when I was about 7 years old. About 7 years old, 6, 7 years old at that time. My mother, who was there at the time, left and came to the US, right? So she came with her job, and then she moved to the US, and she took one of my sisters with her. So I stayed behind, with my father, and then a sister of mine, and then 2 brothers of mine as well. So we were still in England all of that time, And then by 82, by the time he retired from work and decided to go back home, we all packed up and then went back home with him, and left my second oldest brother there because he was like 20 something at the time. So he stayed behind, and then it was 3 of us who went to Jamaica with my father, So that was how we moved from England to Jamaica. Yeah.
Jamaica. Okay. All right. So when you came back to Jamaica, you went straight to William Knibb, or did you have to go through primary school system?
That's right. So I had to go through the all-age school system, right?
You didn't go straight into high school at that age?
No, I went to Granville All-Age School in Trelawny. So I was staying in, my home was in Hague, just outside Falmouth. And so we enrolled in Granville All Age School. My father is a barrack schoolman, right? That barrack school is what they call Falmouth All Age. But back in time, it was a barrack school because it was actually an army barracks.
Oh, so Falmouth All Age is called barracks.
That's right, barrack school.
Okay.
That's right. And it was formerly an army barracks, you know. So my father was a Falmouth All Age but he wanted me to go to Granville because Granville at that time was really churning out some good, you know, kids educational wise and stuff like that. He heard about Mrs. James, who was the principal, and how disciplined she was. And my father must say at that time, must he says, well, you know what, this little boy needs some discipline. You know, so
okay, so you were a kid who gave a lot of trouble back in England.
Not really a lot of trouble. I wouldn't say a lot of trouble. You know, but I just, as a kid, I just like to get into things, right? Sometimes it go one way, or sometimes a good way, right? Sometimes it kind of go bad and stuff. But no type of violence or anything like that. You know, kids do what kids do, right? You know, you have little fights and stuff like that. But you're a kid, you know. It's the kid stuff, you know, back then and stuff. So I got into Granville School.
Yeah.
And I started in grade 7. Yes, I started in grade 7. So I think I was too old to take like the common entrance exam at that time, right? So you know, like grade 5 and grade 6, at that time you take the common entrance and then you pass and go to high school. Well, I was a bit old at that time, so at 12 years old, so they parked me in 7th grade. So I went to 7th grade now, and the only recourse for me after grammar school was either taking what they call the technical exam. I think local people call it overage exam. You're overage, you know. You take this exam and say you're overage, you know.
So you took that in grade, and that is taken in grade 7?
That's taken in, sorry, I took in grade 8. So I
in grade 8.
I was in grade 7, and then I went to grade 8. And then from grade 8, you take what they call the overage exam. Now, just so you know, the overage exam that time was geared to technical high schools, right? So you can pass the overage exam and then you can go right into technical high school. So like schools like Herbert Morrison, which is a technical high school, or Homewood, or Kingston Technical, those are like technical high schools. So when you take the overage exam, you choose a technical high school to go to. You understand?
Yes.
So that's what it was. So just kind of going back a bit. So in 7th grade at Granville School, let me tell you something, man. I always thought that I was okay, with doing my work. Yeah. I had no clue how far back I was.
Oh.
I go to Granville School in the 7th grade. I'm like, these kids were flying. I'm like, what the heck are they doing? You know,
you're coming from England and you say you got to Granville, and the kids in grade 7 at Granville were way ahead of you.
Yes, way ahead of me. They were flying. Wow. And it's funny because even looking back, I was like, well, you know, we never used to do much homework at when I was at Henry Thornton and stuff like that. We never get no really for homework to do and stuff. You do your classwork and then you go home, you know, and stuff. So we never really take the education at an early age so seriously. Right, I guess it was like a privilege, you know. You know, so you kind of take it as it is. But football is the first thing that's on the brain, you know. But switching to Jamaica, right, it was different, you know. The kids them really into them education and stuff, and that forced me, right, to say, well, you have to go learn because you don't have no choice at this point and stuff, you know. So I had a teacher my grade 7 teacher named Mrs. Beckford. And for those who
somebody, well, I see people we're going to come to your comments, right? I just allowing the guests to speak. Yes, Winter Patu, my mom was your first teacher at Granville all age.
That's right, man. Mrs. Reed, man, that is Kevin Keegan's mom, and may she rest in peace, man. She was a beautiful, beautiful woman, man. I'm telling you, man. Oh my gosh, man. I can't forget that woman, man. I remember when Keegan used to sit down every lunchtime with him, mama, eating lunch.
Yeah.
Yes, man. But
Sexy Tommy 34 says ninth grade. It was a ninth grade examination, but you took it in grade 8.
So if it was a 9th grade examination, I took it in grade 8. But I don't think it was a 9th grade examination. No, I think my memory is kind of serving me right at this point. Because I tell you why. Because grade 9 used to have an examination called the grade 9 achievements.
Okay.
And if you pass the grade 9 achievements, right, you go straight into grade 9 in a high school. But the overage exam, you go to a technical high school. And I'm pretty sure I'm right on this because they used to give you the options as to what school you want to go to prior to taking the exam. And there was never a high school on there. It was all technical high schools, right? So here was because you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this when we reveal it now. So but let me just back up a bit to Mrs. Beckford. And Mrs. Beckford is another teacher that I truly respect and I have so much respect for her. And even when I left grammar school, I always used to go see her and bless her up and say, all right, and stuff. Because it was her steadfastness as to what brought me around, you know? And that means like staying with me or even going to Mrs. Beckford house sometimes and, you know, I say, Miss Ray, I'm troubling with your math. Show me how you blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, I slowly come around and start getting it. So I investing some time in myself to get this work that I had to get done kind of propel me, you know, to say like, well, you know, I'm a pretty good student after all. I mean, never, you know, see what happens when you put in some time and put in the work and stuff, you know. So from Mrs. Beckford's grade 7 class, I moved to grade 8, and that was Mrs. Ware. And then Mrs. Ware is another person that, you know, I always have to bless up as well. She put me on the path to taking that overage exam. So when I did take the overage exam, I put down 2 schools to go to.
Well, let me just help you, right? 2 schools. They're saying that most persons are saying that you're right. Yeah, the overage exam, which is different from the grade 9 exam.
That's right.
Because
that's right.
Yes, and not nice saying you're right.
Right.
Overage is 7, 8, 9 grade.
Right.
And then Robert who is a friend from you know, from over there in New York.
Yes.
Brethren. So they call that exam technical entrance exam.
Right. It was something technical I couldn't remember. But yes.
So that was 2 exams.
One in a
grade 8 and one in a grade 9.
Right.
And they said, right.
Yes.
All right. And more. There are so many comments. I'm trying to get as many of them saying that you're right, Charlie. As well. All right.
That's what I have it.
Yeah, man. All right. So go ahead now. So you said that there were 2 schools.
Right. So I chose 2 schools. One, I chose Homewood in Manchester, in Christiana, and I chose Kingston Technical as well. So I chose Kingston Technical, I mean, being in Trelawny and stuff like that, Kingston Technical. But my auntie, which is my father brother, used to live in Kingston, right? Over by Arcadia side, I think, or close to Barbican, Arcadia side. And so I figured that, you know, let me put down KT just in case I don't get to Homewood, I can get to KT, and then I can go live with my auntie, you know, and go school there and stuff like that. But nonetheless, me actually passed to go to Homewood, you know. So so Homewood was the school that I.
So what about Herbert Morrison? Isn't Herbert Morrison the closest one?
Yeah, Herbert Morrison, the closest one, but you see, at the time, I don't know nothing about Herbert Morrison. I knew about Homewood because playing ball in Falmouth when I was younger, we used to have certain man who used to go to Homewood, right? So Jagan on the channel the other day talk about a man named Musla, that Scott, right? That Hero Scott brother.
Hero Scott,
Musla,
right? Yes.
Used to play for Homewood. Guys like Mervyn White, you know, used to play for Homewood. So them is local.
Okay.
So that is the connection, right? Like if I'm going there, I might as well go to Homewood because you have man and man from Trelawny in the local. They go to Homewood. You understand? So when I went to Homewood to have the what do you call it? You know, opening. You know, you go on you look, you meet the principal, meet and greet. Orientation and stuff like that. Right. So I This is funny. So I went to Homewood, and my father took me at the time. Jagan talk about Joe Paul, like my father. It's Coach Village. But went to Homewood, went up to the school.
Okay, so your father is a coach that Jagan spoke about.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's
Who
right.
said
The
that
guy
was
who-
like a
yes, the
mentor
man who
to him?
Jagan talk about, that's my father.
Okay.
Right. So we went up to Homewood, met the principal and stuff, and when I got there and looked around and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, kind of dated, but all right, it's Jamaica, you come from a school like Henry Thornton, and I was like,
Yes.
state of the art school, and then we come to Homewood, and I was like, okay, all right. Like, all right, let me just put that on the back burner. The school look a bit dated and stuff like that. That's fine. But anyway, so that kind of went well, and then we had to go look for your room on board, right? Because I can't travel from Christiana to Falmouth every day, right? That's too far, right? So I was looking for room on board. So boarding, we had to go. They gave us a list of a couple of people that we could go that's available for board, room on board, So
Right.
you're from Trelawny, you're going to school in Christiana, you stay with this family there, and that is where you stay until holiday time, you go back home or something like that. But that is your place where you are going to stay, and until your time you graduate and what have you and stuff. So we went to see this family and go up to the gate, and we met the lady and stuff. I can't remember. Can't remember what the lady name is. But anyway, we got there and we got into the house, and she showed me around and said, "This would be your bed, this would be your room," and stuff like that. But when we look around the house, it's big Jesus Christ. See, all of these things. So
Yeah.
you must be saying that, well, what's wrong with that? Well, I never grew up in a church.
Yes.
My father was a total atheist. He didn't grow up in church, right? And I've never been
Up to that point, he had not been to church.
right. I can count the number of times I went to church. If in England, it's probably about 2 or 3 times tops. And then I only went to church at that time to go eat out the candy them what they give me Sunday school thing, So I didn't have any experience in the church, and my father surely not pushing that and stuff like that, So after that, my father said, "Well, I don't want to go to Homewood because I'm not staying there, I'm not gonna have people telling me to go to church when you don't send me to church, So so I was in a catch-22 now, right? I have the green light that I can go to Homewood and stuff, but coming back to Falmouth now, the question is, well, can we get into William Knibb? So we had a couple of people batted for us, put in a good word to Mrs. Lee that, hey, he's a good kid here, he's a local kid, he's doing well in school, he's great at sports, in football, and we'd love to have him in William Knibb and stuff. And I think Mr. McDonald was one of them who really pushed it, because he was the integrated science teacher at William Knibb at the time, and Mr. Mac, we call him Alan Mac, he was a footballer himself too, so, and he used to coach under 14 and under 16 as well. So so we got a good strength from Mr. Mac at that time. So that worked out, right? Mrs. Lee said, "Yep, fine, let's bring him in, come to William Knibb." So I came to William Knibb in the 8th grade, right? So remember, when you're in a 9th grade and you pass to go into 9th grade in high school, they accepted me, but then accepted me. So it's like I'm repeating 8th grade. But
right, because you took the exam in 8th grade at Granville.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So that's where my journey at William Knibb started.
Began. All right. So before you continue, listen, I want to thank all the persons in the comment section. You have so many persons, right, who are in here making a lot of comments, right? We won't be able to bring up all your comments, but we're going to try to, right? So we normally take a break, so I'm going to go through some of the comments, put them up so you can see what's happening. But here's the thing, people. So far over 100 people have viewed the video, and only like 21 persons have liked the video. So just hit the like button, please, and let it, yeah, man. Go
That's
ahead.
right. Hey, if we have so much people in the chat right now, just hit the like button. There's nothing hard in doing that. Hit the like button, right? It's beautiful content. I mean, Mannings, man, you have a good content and you have a good platform here. So I wish you all the best and all the success and stuff like that. So folks who are in the room, there's you look beside the search field where you can type. You should have a $ right beside it, which is a super chat. That is where you can provide a super chat. Donate if you can, $5, $1, $2, $10, $20, whatever it is, and give the man a bless up and a strength, because remember, he's taking a whole lot of time, getting this content out to people like us and everybody else and stuff, So, helping him out and stuff that way would be a big bonus, right? So if you guys feel free to just tag on that super chat, hit that button, and just make a donation and stuff like that. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. All right, Gunners Boss. So thank you, Gunners Boss, for the super sticker. Appreciate that. Gigi says, Gia in the house. Big up yourself, Chiwali. Then Clifton said, Joe Paul himself.
Yes.
Fitzroy Duncan again saying Joe Paul was not a godman for real. Katie Sinclair in the building as well.
Yes.
Denville Hines says, bless the Chiwali, the best left footer from Knibb, class of 8'3", I believe that is. Paul says, up top, me general. That's Paul Cowell. And then Hopal Watson says it was 7. I think I read that one about it being 7 and 8. And Clifton Clark says that Granville School to the world. Charlie, totally right. Mid Jenna. I also saw Cosman Williams earlier in it. Charmian Will 77 said big up. All right. So she's here. Just giving you all the big ups. You get Judith Moore also with a big up. Yeah, man. So you have a lot of fans. I can imagine what it was like.
Yes, man. I'm a Pinks, man. They love me, man. I love the whole of them back,
Yeah, Marvel. Big up Arsenal. They know we have to put up that one.
Oh, God. Yeah, Marvel. No, man.
Charlie. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, man. So we're going to get more of your comments. And this is Robert Sanchez saying, why you left ball talk? This is what you're afraid. But we're not going to get there yet. This is Robert Sanchez. Yeah, man. So bless up Southie in the building. Yeah, man. Yeah, but go ahead now. So you started now. We soon get to the ball talk thing, but we got back to the William Knibb, your first year in William Knibb now.
That's right.
You said this is where your footballing career starts. So go ahead and share that with us now.
So coming into 8th grade at William Knibb School, that kind of started the football for me from a high school perspective, of course. But even at that time, maybe even a little prior to that, I was still playing local community football, right? So, and then from then, I've started playing for Village, which is, but I was playing in the Division 2. So Village had a B team, and that B team used to play in Division 2. So I was playing with Village at that time. So I'm a Village man for a long time. From my 13, 14 come up, I was playing for Village D2 and stuff. But at school, coming in at 14, I was too old for under 14, so I played under 16. And I think I played 2 years I could have played 2 years of under 16, but my first year in D Cup was 1985. Yeah, 1985 was my first D Cup year. So I played 1 year, I think, of under 16. And then from 1985 onwards, it was D Cup. But that 1985 year, I think I was playing under 16 as well. So I could play under 16 and
and D Cup,
the D Cup team as well, right? So I was the youngest on the team at that time, because in 1985 is most of the elder man them who has played before me, right?
Was it a good team in 1985?
So we had a good team, right? But if you look back, just look back a couple of years, 1981, 1982, right? And that's history that I know of, that about William Knibb prior to going to William Knibb.
Right, that's the Cosman Williams team that went to the
Williams,
finals.
Gerald Hero Scott,
Right.
Eva 1981, Junior Granville, Jagan mentioned on his live. We call him Marky. Then we used to have a youth on the left back named Michelin. And then we had midfielders like Esto, ZAD. And we have Casman, Shaba. That's a Junior Granville. Sorry, not a Junior Granville Shaba. I think a Junior Granville Shaba. But Marky and Shaba, I think, are brother. But and then Casman, we used to have a youth who used to play right wing, but them time, Lydie Simpson. Lydie Simpson come from England as well. Let me tell you something, man. That ball was really, really good. He was so super good, right? And not because he come from England, right? But not because he come from England, but anybody at Jamaica who have seen Lydie Simpson play, always they are grown. He was that good of a player in the Cup at the time when he in the short time he played at William Knibb and stuff. So all of those people there are new, as a young baller coming through, and those same baller who were much older than me, but then give me the props even back then because they recognize the talent from a very early age.
Right. So your first season in the Costa Cup was 1985.
So it's 1985. Just bringing it forward to 1985, and so my first year was a last year for a lot of players. One of those players was Sean Van de Souza, right? And nobody know about Sean de Souza. Sean de Souza has been a William Knibb top player for a couple of years, because even in 82, Sean was like 15 at the time and he was playing.
Okay.
William Knibb, the Casa Cup team at that time, right? But in 1985 now, I think Sean captained the team, Sean and Big Dads and stuff. So Sean was on his way out. This was his final year, my first year and stuff. But me and Sean used to come up even in Hague because the two of us used to live at Hague. So we are play ball all the time, So I get the conditioning, I get the conditioning to play D Cup long before we start playing D Cup.
D Cup, okay.
I play with them, big man, and get exposed and kick up and all of them things there, because they're not better and powder here. So,
how many years of D Cup you played at William Knibb?
So I played 4 years. I played from 85, and then 88 was my last season.
All right. Which one of those years you would say was the best year for your team and the best year for you?
So the thing with our team, William Knibb, right, is we weren't easy. We weren't an easy team to beat, right? We were always hard to beat, but we always sort of like lacking or missing a screw or two, right, to make the thing really connect and go to the next round. So we never qualified in my 4 years of playing. We never qualified.
I want to remind people as well that at that time, that zone consisted of like sometimes Rossies,
that's right,
Herbert Morrison, Cornwall College.
That's right.
I think Mannings.
That's right. And that was the five. That was the five.
Right.
William Knibb, Cornwall College, Herbert Morrison, Rossies, and Mannings. And that was war zone, zone A.
Right, because a lot of the championship were won by Rossies, Cornwall, and I think Herbert Morrison.
That's right.
During that time. So the winner of that zone.
That's right. No zone B, no zone C, nobody now win. It's just zone A. You understand? Yeah. So we up against Rossies and the Herbert Morrisons, Cornwall College, and even Mannings as well, right? But as tough as that was, right? There's none of those schools at that time can come and think say you're going to walk over Knibb school. You're probably going to beat we, but you're not going to walk over, over the school. Because we really give it to all, Whatever we're lacking in football, technical or tactical, we make it up in guts and glory, and that's who we was and stuff like that. And we had the players for that, right? We had players who, who can run all day, run and tackle. You have guys like Wayne Bedford in the middle, right? Great center midfielder, that, right? Right. And then later on, we had Garnet Denton who come in after and stuff like that. You know,
He was the
Keith
captain. Garnet Denton became the captain. That is Codfish. He was the captain of the team in.
That's right. That's right. So he became captain after when my time was up in the
Okay.
Garnet Denton managed that. Right. So I think and Garnet can correct me if it's 1 year or 2 year. We can't remember, but we know we definitely play at least a year together and stuff. You know, and then we used to have players like Lagerpipe. You know. So if you know any Lagerpipe I want Seba player back in the day, where we used to have our Lagerpipe, you know, Anthony Clark, William Knibb, and Lagerpipe was a great player, man, great midfielder, you know, and stuff, very skillful, you know, and yeah, so we had a good team, we had a good set of players, and we had a good coach too, right? Coastline, you know, for the number of years, I think Coastline was coach, and then towards the end of, I think, 1988, I think, then Elder Wright, who is another ex-footballer, William Knibb, he took over the reins in 1988 also. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that what it is. But if I look at from 85 to 88 and say which year was probably the best team within that time period, I'd probably say the 1987. Yeah, I think 1987. Probably.
Okay. All right. We're going to take some more comments and then we'll come back to that and, you know, Jamaica Juvenile and stuff like that. And you tell us more about your whole career. Wayne Adrian says, Fairly General, bless up. All right. And then Clifton says, Lloyd Simpson from Green Park was a general. And then Kevin Keegan says Lloyd Simpson was a real general, brother of Ken Simpson. Lloyd Simpson, brother of Ken Simpson.
That's right.
And next, Granville School alumni.
Cool.
Then he says Zone A was the toughest zone in the Costa Cup at that time. I remember. Yeah. Then Fitzroy Duncan says, I remember the penalty versus CC at William Knibb. I don't remember Fitzroy. You know, that's very. I need to know what happened there. He had to take it twice. Oh, you had to take it twice? Don't tell me you miss it 2 times, you know.
No. It's funny how Fitzroy mentioned that, right? Because you know, that wasn't there was a time, I think 1 year I'm playing for Village, and I think Jagan touched on this, but we'll get back to that some other time. But we play a match, a qualifying match against a team in Hanover. Can't remember. Lucy. We get a penalty. The man make me take you over about 5 times. The man say, "You not leave it to your miss."
And not who to that? The coach?
The referee, man.
The referee?
Yeah, man. The referee said, "No, you have to take you over again."
No, man. Hold on. Yeah, you're joking, right? Are you telling me that the referee said that you're not taking the penalty until you miss?
The referee.
It's a practice game.
No, man, I'm qualifying for the National League at the time, you know, man. The man, we get a penalty, the man say, you have to take you over. The keeper move. Every time it's the keeper move. And then we get vexed. After the 3rd time, we get vexed. And we say, listen to the referee. Me nah miss today, you know. So you got tired missing face, you know. So the man keep on 4th time. Me start talk to the keeper. I say, keeper, you know, so the ball goes like this, you know. The ball go right there, so to your left. And you're now going to save it. The man make me kick the 4th time. Same place. 5th time. Same place. Referee say, boy, all right. This is not blow off the key.
I need to hear some of these stories, you know, because I always hear that William Knibb, footballer, scoring corners and all of them things there and stuff. Because here's the next one by Christopher Jarrett. Christopher Jarrett says, Chiwali, tell them about the corner kick against Russia, which is Rossi's high school. When you kicked it, the referee told you to kick it again, and you kicked it again and score again. That was in 1988.
So, okay. All right. I think I know where Chris Jarrett is going with that. But I don't think it's... If you're talking about the corner kick, I don't think it's Russia. I think that was Herbert Marson. Yeah. And I constantly getting reminded of it, you know. You know, somebody can't remember the goal. But anyway, everybody has said, score a corner against Herbert Marson over Knibb School. which is not really surprising, because in practice, me always I take corner and a score.
Yeah, man, but they said that William didn't feel lean,
Yeah. But
No.
but what Christopher Jarrett is saying, when he say Russia and then you have to kick it over, that might have been the referee, which was a Falmouth referee, pass up, right? Who is Hero Scott and Musla brother too, right? Pass up was older brother. He was a referee, and he was refereeing the game versus Rossi's down in Hanover, and I think that was like a 30-yard free kick, that we kick past Wild Boy, Aaron Lawrence, Wild Boy. He used to keep for Jamaica. My brethren that too, if you ran the pan, big up himself.
Yeah, man. Kept Farino as well. Know him very well.
And kept Farino. That's right. And kept for Jamaica too.
Yeah,
right.
Man. He went to the World Cup. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. So, but referee said me have to take you over again. But me never score again. Me never score second time.
Oh. All right. And then Kevin Keegan is saying that you played with Codfish in 87 and 88.
87 and 88.
And then he says, Lager Pipe and my baller, the great Anthony Clark.
Yeah, man.
That's his name. Wayne says 1989 team was tough early. We went to the interzone that year.
So then go to the interzone right after when we left.
Yeah. And Fitzroy is saying that thing with the penalty, it was Warren Barrett.
That's right. That's
actually
right.
keeping.
That's
but
right.
I'm telling you, how could William Knibb couldn't make it out of the zone, man? He had one team that had Warren Barrett in goal. The next team had Aaron Lawrence in goal, and I think Manning's had Fire.
Had Fire, that's right. Fire was in goal as well. So you had some really good players that spread out in zone here, right?
Yeah.
Russia really had the top dog them, for the first 2 years, 85, 86. But Herbert Morrison now came up. Herbert Morrison came up strong, like 86 and 87. Herbert Morrison team was on fire, right? You had Hector Wright and Keith Tomlinson and Skitter. I can remember a few. And who else? Tanto. Them are the top dads on Herbert Morrison around that time. So Herbert Morrison was really, really good, and they were coached by a very good coach too.
Mr. Whiteley.
Mr. Whiteley as well. You understand? So it went tough. But all of those guys, even though I'm playing against them, I came up with them in under 16, playing against them in under 16, So there's a commonality and competitiveness even before we start playing Dacaster Cup. Because some of them, man, they may start playing Dacaster Cup before them, But
okay.
But yeah, them coming strong, Me always say, like, if you never had a Rossies or you never had a Herbert Morrison, and let's say, for instance, 1 year William Knibb, the bottom team, or Mannings also could have got interzone, would have lick out enough teams same way. Because that's what
right. It's almost like any team that came out of that zone A could have gone on.
Could have gone far.
Yeah. All right, but did you got called up to the Alder Costa?
Right. So in 1987, in which I said that's probably the best year. And 1988 was good too, because that was my final year as well. I was kind of very relaxed in 1988. But in 1987, so there's a couple of things that happened. I got called for Alder Costa in 1987. And then, but interestingly enough, in the Costa Cup, and even though I was there at the game, I never played. Because when the word came to the school that Alder Costa was in training, they were in training. So when I got word that the Costa Cup is training and I have to pack up and go to GC Foster College, well, that was like 3 days before the Saturday when they're going to play All Mannings at National Stadium, right? So I didn't get even enough time. Wendell Downswell was the coach, I think, if I can recall. Wendell Downswell was the coach. That year, how who win? I can't remember who win. I think Rossi's win 87. So to the victor goes the spoils, right? Most of the player them.
Right, that was the Rossi. That was the Alder Costa. I think had like 7 or so with Shorty, Malcolm, and Mark Agler Wilson, Aaron Lawrence, Michael.
That's right. So so they get the bulk of the picks, and then everybody else you have to go fight for and stuff. But I was the last person to even go to any training in Aldi, because when I got word that they are already training, they were training like for a week,
Yeah.
and me just coming like 2-3 days before the match. So I only really get one opportunity to, one practice match, and then that was it.
Okay. Did they get called back in 88?
So in 1988, I got called for the Jamaica juvenile team.
Okay. Okay. Tell us about that experience and.
Right. So the Jamaica under 19, I got selected. And it was a couple of men from West too. Tri Campbell, Tyan, Hector Wright, Keith Tomlinson, Tanto, Rossi.
Warren Barrett was in that.
Warren Barrett was in there, and Wild Boy as well.
Yeah.
Warren Barrett and Wild Boy. The two of them come up. And then Hagler, right? Mark Wilson. And then we used to have a general from Manning's name, Pussman.
Donald Wilson.
Yeah. Donald Wilson was my closest ally in coming up in D Cup football. Although me and him go at it at Manning's, me and him become real good friend. And to the point that Donald Wilson used to come check me at Trelawny and come stay at me at a weekend and before him go back out west and them thing there. Because me and him ain't good, Me and him good.
Yeah.
Cool brother, man. Respect Pussman, man. Yeah, man. And Pussman and did it too and stuff. And then we had a whole bunch of the Manning Cup
players.
It's a very good experience because that's the first time I'm actually working with players them from Kingston and stuff, Camperdown, KC, Tivoli.
Did he actually play a competition with that Jamaica?
Yeah, so we went out to Central America. Cheese and peas. Was it El Salvador? I think it was El Salvador. We went to El Salvador 1988 to play competition and stuff, But we went out there and stuff, and I didn't play. And I was sort of like really pissed off of how Jamaica under 19 got executed. John P. Harris was the coach at that time. And initially in the beginning, everything was good, right? I'm there practicing, playing, performing.
What position you playing this time?
So I was playing left wing.
Okay.
The left winger. But I also played left midfield, So so I was left wing at the time. And training is going great. But at that time, the Rossi's man them didn't come in, and the KC team didn't come in as yet because they were playing what they call
the
Walker Cup.
The Walker Cup, right?
Walker Cup, right?
No man, not Walker Cup. Olivier Shield.
Boy, one of them, me can't even remember.
Which the DaCosta Cup.
The winner of the Manning Cup.
Yeah.
The winner of the.
Is that the Olivier Shield?
Is it the Olivier Shield? Okay. Olivier Shield.
Yeah. The Walker Cup is a knockout for the Manning Cup team, and the Ben France is a knockout for the DaCosta Cup. The Olivier Shield is where the champion of the DaCosta Cup play the champion of the Manning Cup.
All right, you got it.
Yeah.
So they played Olivier Shield and stuff, and so when that game was over and stuff, and then some of my man start coming in and stuff, right? So you'd feel like a man like me who did it from the beginning, and some players who would not come in until like the final week before we are go out and stuff and things. So that really pissed me off because when them start announce the team and stuff at the 25, I was in the squad so we get to go out and stuff. We go to El Salvador.
Yeah.
Right. But at no point in El Salvador did I even change.
Whoa.
So not even on the bench. You understand? So that was very disconcerting to me because I feel like there's an injustice being done to me by no, mind you, as I said before, to the victor goes the spoils, right? And if you're winning, you're the top team and you win, and your top team you win, you can expect that you're going to have the bulk of the players them and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and all that. But still, even in that, you know, you don't run that by guaranteeing people's position. You still have to work for that, right? Because at the end of the day, you still have some real prime players who didn't win. You know?
Yeah. Like Pussman.
Like
you.
Usman.
Yeah, like you.
Usman.
Players like
You
you.
understand? That's right. And stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I'll let it be. We went there and stuff, and we never did well. We had a team that was good, but they're not used to big stage football at that time. And me used to big stage football at that time, because even when I was 12, I was playing in Wembley.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I used to that stuff, and they weren't used to that. They're used to, you know, your little schoolboy yard football and stuff, and all the things. But when you talk about stadiums, okay, I want 30,000, 40,000, you know, there was a sort of immaturity to the football game. And so they didn't perform well, but nonetheless, it was a very good experience. It was a very good experience because, you know, we connect with a lot of the Manning Cup players. Stuff like that. Because despite it all, you know, players always love to speak and talk about other players. Football. If you're a real football enthusiast like myself, you always, as I say, game recognized game.
Yeah.
You know, and there's always a respect in the football community for those who play Manning Cup and those who play Doncaster Cup.
Who were some of the Manning Cup players that were in that team that you remember?
Herbert Richards. I can't remember anybody else.
Roderick Reed was in it.
Roderick Reed used to go Tivoli.
Right, so he was in the team.
That's right. And Roderick Reed is a very good baller. Roderick Reed was in the team at that time.
Yeah.
Who else from Kingston? I think Ratty. I think he interviewed Ratty.
Yeah, Garfield Robinson.
Garfield Robinson was one of Ratty was in that team, I think, as well. We had Tuka Deni. Tuka Deni used to play for Camperdown. Bucky Barnes used to play for Camperdown. Keegan, we know them man because Keegan and Camperdown man as well. Right? We used to have a youth named Clock. And Brown youth who used to play for Meadowbrook. Clock was a really good player too. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was so impressed with Clock because it's the first centre back I saw in school and playing on that level in Jamaica.
It's the first I hear that name, Clock.
Yeah, man, I can't remember his name, but we used to call him Clock, and he used to go Meadowbrook.
All right, somebody need to tell us what that current name of that player is.
Yeah, man, Clock used to go Meadowbrook, so he used to play with Twiddle.
Twiddle was in the team. Twiddle Reed.
Can't remember if Twiddle was in the team. Okay. Twiddle went baller, you know, good baller. But Clock, the youth named Clock as the first centre back for me see and train and play with. I used to sit down and just watch him how he play because he was a ball playing centre back. You know, a lot of centre backs were aggressive at that time. You know, tackling.
Somebody's saying that Tuku was Dane Walker of Camperdown.
That's right, Tuka Dene. That's what I said. Tuka Dene. Yeah.
Tuka Dene. All right, and they say one name Clock. He's talking about the 1998 Jamaica juvenile team that went to play in El Salvador CC.
That's right.
Yeah, some of the players who were in it.
Right. Yeah, we just talked, right?
So anybody who know Clock, he used to play for Meadowbrook, centre back, who was in that 1988 team. So Roderick, if you're watching, because Roderick Reed, if you know the person, anyone of you watching, Ratty, if you're watching and you know the name of the person,
they will know, man. They will definitely know. And thing, Yeah. You know, so it was a very good experience, and it didn't end there. It didn't end there in Jamaica Juvenile because.
Right. After Jamaica Juvenile, you finished school now. Just go on and tell us. Yeah.
Right. So I didn't finish school in 1988 because I actually left Jamaica in December 1988. So right after D Cup, I switched right into National League, and I was playing for Village. Right.
Okay.
But playing for Village in National League in 1988 was it the first time we played National League for Village? But prior to that, we were playing in, Trelawny.
Major League and stuff.
That's right.
D1.
I've been playing with Village, with Trelawny, since I think 1986, 87, 88. But 1988 is when we went to National League, right? So I was playing National League for Village, and I played about, I can't remember how much games I played for Village at that time, probably about 5 or 6. And I was leading in Jamaica in scoring. And funny enough, I never considered myself a goal scorer. I never thought of myself as a goal scorer, right? Because it was always pleasing to me to get that crossover for somebody to score. That's what I used to feed on, is getting players into position to score, you know. But in 1988, I kind of assumed that burden.
Hold on, that 1988 team didn't have like Chris Dias.
That's right. Christopher Dyer. That's right. Belly. That's
Eugene
right.
Williams.
Belly. That's right.
I think it was, yeah. Belly Dias.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. I can't remember all of the names. Shorty Malcolm was
there as well.
Yeah, rest in peace, Shorty Malcolm. My brethren, man.
Name coming back to me.
That, you know.
It's just that the name came back to me because I know. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
you're talking about Village, yeah.
So I was just kind of switching to Village there a minute. Yeah, so we played National League. I was probably like top goal scorer before I leave. And I didn't tell anybody I was leaving because, you know, I've always kind of respected decisions that I make, you know, and a lot of people don't understand them, you know. I'm looking in Jamaica football, right? And remember, back then there's no money. There was no structure for disbursements of payments and stuff to players and all of these things here, you know. And I'm at 18 at the time, and I'm at a crossroads because I'm about to continue or finish school. As a matter of fact, I did finish school. I went back 88, but I didn't go to school. So I played Dakar Cup 88, but I didn't really go to school because I already took the exams then in 1987, you know, the CXC and
yes.
Yeah, CXC exams and stuff like that. That's right. So I took the CXC exams when I was in 1987, right? I didn't get much CXCs. I think I get maths and English, and that was it. And so I couldn't graduate, right?
Okay.
So in order for me to graduate, I have to go back and repeat grade 11, right?
Right.
So I repeated grade 11. So that means I can play another year at D Cup, you know, which I did. But I already had plans then, and I was talking to my mother at the time and stuff like that, you know, as soon as football over and stuff, I'm just going to come up and then come on.
Right, because your mother had moved from England to the United States.
That's right. So my mother was already in the US and stuff.
Right.
I finished school, you know,
yeah.
I played D Cup, right, with the expectation that I was going to stay another year and bolts up my grades them and stuff like that, you know, and them things there. But I just took the short road and said, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna go. Didn't tell my father, said I'm leaving.
Whoa.
Until like the day or two before I actually left. So funny enough, in 1988, I didn't go to soccer camp at school because I was visiting America at the time in the summer. So
right.
I didn't have a full training session in 1988 because you have to train. At school you train.
Right. Yeah, you have summer camp. Right.
And stuff and then coming. So but I was in New York all that time in 1988. And then right at Gilbert. I came down right before Gilbert. Hit in September 1988. Right? And then I played the D Cup, start playing D Cup
right.
year and after. Right? So but my coming back, I already had talks with my mom as to what I'm going to do and stuff.
Yeah.
And then so we play the D Cup, and then when we knock out, when you say you knock out by November, early December, if you know your plan. You understand? So so me switch now after that, now switch and play National League, right? And I was playing, scoring, winning, you know, Village, we were doing pretty good and stuff. But I just upped and left. Didn't tell anyone, you know. Didn't even tell my father until 2 days ago. I said, listen, I'm going to America. When I was in America in the summertime, I buy myself one tape deck. Rotted. We buy myself one big tape deck, Because back in the day, you know, you have to have a big tape deck, right? Because you have cassette and, you know, me a man love used to go dance and have dance or cassette and we used to run them off and all of them things there. Or we used to listen to radio music and then record them, right? Because that's how we used to get the music and stuff. But anyway, also it was a good price deck that I brought down with me because that was gonna be my plane fare going back. You know, it's gonna sell it.
Oh, so you'd sell it and then you have your fear to go out.
That's right. And then that's what I did, right? So
yes,
I had a brethren up a Yeg, on the hill, and I let him know that, you know, I'm selling my tape deck and stuff like that, and come and take a look and stuff like that. But at that time, so I sold it for $800 at that time, and $800 was, I think I was like $100 short to buy my airfare. So that my airfare. So I buy my airfare, put on $100 and I buy my airfare, and then that was it. No, at that time, remember, I have an English passport. I don't have a Jamaican citizenship or anything like that. But at that time, that's right. So, but at that time, you didn't need, English people never need a visa to come to America.
Okay.
You just get one of them, what you call it, the visa waiver, 90 day, you get a 90 day. So that's what I did. So me pack up Jamaica and say, all right, I come to America.
You pack up Jamaica, you're good, man.
Yeah, man, we pack up Jamaica and leave and go to America, right? So, and then I knew that I was going to overstay as well because I'm not coming back to Jamaica. If anything, I'm going to go back to England, right? But but I stayed in America and stuff like that and kind of understood the environment and what it takes to go to school, right? Because in order for you to go to college, you know, and remember, I didn't have the CXCs. That I could have.
You only had 2 subjects at this time.
Only had 2 subjects. So what am I going to do? So what I did, when I came to America, I took the GED exam, right? Because you take the high school equivalent. And I knew that although I did not have the subjects in school, I knew I was a good student. It was just that the football was taking away a lot of the work that I could be doing for school and stuff, you know. And then we have brethren, you know, who used to push me in school, you know, guys like George Campbell, aka Kofi Tafari, you mean there, right? In the chat room right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Irons and them thing there. These guys are we used to every day in a class and stuff. We always used to upkeep each other and stuff and thing. But you see, once me hit 11th grade and stuff, I think at that time I just thought I was just larger than life. And then not in a conceited way, but it was just the fact that, you know, there was certain things happening to me, and, you know, and there was a different kind of maturity coming on that other people couldn't understand, right? So I kind of in 11th grade, I just kind of flopped, you know, and that's why I come up with the 2 CXCs and stuff. But so I took the GED, and then after the GED, I took the SAT, right? That's how the college exams to go to college. And then I got like, I think SATs are like 1,600, and the total
1,600.
I got like 1,300 or something like that. So I more than passed the SATs to go to college, you know.
Awesome.
And, right. And then I was playing locally for 2 teams in Brooklyn. 2 teams, one in Brooklyn, one in the Bronx, and I was living in Brooklyn. And I was playing for Rovers.
Oh, you played for Rovers?
I'm playing for Rovers Football Club, and then sorry. Even before Rovers, my bad. I was playing for a team named Black Unity in Queens. That's the first team I used to play for, because my brother used to play for Black Unity as well. And then I was playing with Mandela Football Club in the Bronx shortly thereafter. And things. So my first start was with Black Unity. But anyway, the coach at Black Unity was a brother by the name of Junior Charlton, Jamaican brother. Really, really, really cool brother as well, you know. And he was the one who organized a college, a recruit to come and take. I was playing a match, and I asked the coach from Iona to say, hey, come take a look at this player here. You think you might like him, you know, to join Iona College and stuff. So the guy came, watched me, didn't like it, so he didn't move with it and stuff like that. And then while in Brooklyn, I was playing a game, and then there was a guy from St. Vincent by the name of Sam Carrington. And I was playing a Rovers match. I had a good game there too. And he came over and says, my name is Sam Carrington and stuff, and who are you and stuff. And so I just told him where my background and stuff like that. Told him that I'm here, I live here and things and stuff. So he says he wanted me to come to St. Francis College in downtown Brooklyn, and then that's where I ended up at St. Francis College. So I played 4 years at St. Francis College, and which was a good experience as well, because most of the players then in my first year at St. Francis College were mostly Caribbean people. We had about 8 Jamaicans, 78 Jamaican players from Manning Cup as well on that St. Francis College. And then we had a few from Trinidad as well, and 1 or 2 from Guyana and stuff like that. So that 4 years of experience was
with St. Francis.
Yes, with St. Francis, yes.
So you had a good career at St. Francis?
Yeah, we had a 4-year very good career at St. Francis, right? And that was a very close-knitted brotherhood as well. Most of the players them at St. Francis. So my first year at St. Francis, we had like 5 KC, man. Yeah, that came up, and they came on. They got a football scholarship.
Any standout player?
Yes, man. So we used to have Irvin Ellison. We used to call him L Stitch. Right? He used to play for KC. So any KC man in here we know who named Irvin Ellison, a baller that. Yeah, feel striker that,
L
Stitch, man. And then we have a brother named Salah. Salah went big baller Jamaica in schoolboy. Salah went big ballers
for KC.
Yeah, man, I want KC. Greats, man. Anybody from KC tell you about Salah? Errol Lewis.
Errol Lewis.
Yes, man. Salah.
Okay.
Real baller that, man. And we had Salah, and then we had a youth named Mark Brown, another youth named Chris Rose, and then we had a youth named Curtis Limtown. Reds. I mean, red Chinese boy, And then so that was 5 KC man, at the time. And then we had a brother named Mark White. We used to call him Zelle. He used to play for Woolmans.
Zelle.
Woolmans boy, yeah, Zelle. Shortly thereafter. And then we had a couple of other players and stuff. So players from Jamaica who played high school, it was a good part to come to St. Francis,
Yeah, man. Here, let me give you these 2 comments. Denville, you say was your classmate. Says, happy to see my classmate or ace footballer in 2nd and 3rd from Knibb. Then Chris Wayne says, Errol Lewis, left winger, small and diminutive.
Yeah, man.
And
really,
then, Robert says, Errol Lewis scoring 1985 Manning Cup final. Salah.
The data man, them come out here. Right.
KC, man. That's a KC, man.
Yes, man.
It's a KC, man. You know somebody named KC used to be I think he used to be at Rovers. I don't know what them call him there, but they call him KC,
Me know a KC. Me know a KC who used to roll with Buffalo Football Club.
Buffalo, yeah, man. That's the one, man. You know him?
KC, yeah, man. KC can't tell you about me. Come into a year with Buffalo, Yeah.
Him is a good baller, because him go Rossies, I think, and then he go KC.
Well, but KC was a big man still, When I play as youngster, I play KC was already big man. So he never really play more than so. But you could have seen that him used to.
Okay.
I'm bigger man for me still. But KC, yeah, man, I'm blessed up KC, man. I remember KC.
Curtis, Curtis Limtam from Port Royal, call him Big Red.
That's right. So he came to St. Francis as well, and he did a year at St. Francis and stuff like that.
Okay.
We're really, really good. We're really good in a college ball, But here's the problem: the conference that we were playing in, we couldn't. They did not allow us to move on. Like if you win the conference, we couldn't move on.
Oh.
So it was no real incentive, because you win Northeast Conference and then that is it, your season done. Because they didn't allow you to play the interzone.
Why?
Don't know why. Some rule, NCAA rule also, But our third year.
Yes.
Third year in St. Francis College. That's when we were really, really good. We had knocked off everybody, any top ranked team in our US, we had knocked them off. And we win the Northeast Conference in 19 1991. But we couldn't go nowhere. They didn't allow us. It's only after when we leave, them overturn it and say, all right, people who win the Northeast can go listen. So it
Whoa.
was sad because we had players that can go all the way. That's how good we were in 1990.
Yeah. Somebody just sent in this question that I should ask you about the perception of blacks of Jamaican. The perception of blacks of Jamaicans in England, especially the second and the third generation.
So I would say that's based upon your personal experience, right? In England, when with myself growing up, I did not experience. I experienced shades of racism only when I came up a bit. But
Yeah.
no, I didn't really experience that racism because the era in which we lived in, which was, if I look back on it, I can't say it was predominantly black, but it's well integrated, right? I mean, my neighbor was white, and I had a Chinese neighbor as well, and stuff like that. So it was all about respect, right? When you're young, growing up, and you're with friends, you don't care where they come from, or their background. Also, you just know say your friend, and you play.
Yeah.
All and play whatever and stuff like that. So at a young age, I could not experience what adults would have probably experienced. No, I can tell you. At the time I was born, right? My father at that time used to live in Camberwell, a district named Camberwell, about half a mile down the road from Brixton, right? And they firebombed his apartment.
Whoa.
White boy, racist boys, and National Front boy, and firebombed the apartment with my father and my mother carrying me and the kids inside the house. Right? Definitely a racist attack.
Whoa.
And my father used to tell me that all the time when I was growing up, and stuff. So I was aware of that. So growing up, you can access that type of information because you remember the stories that your parents have tell you, So you can see the racism through their eyes, But in 1981 at the Brixton riots was my first real direct connection with racism.
Oh, so you went back to England?
No, that's the time when I was living in England.
Oh, 1981, right.
I was young at the time.
Yeah.
Brixton riots at that time was driven out of police killing. Who was it? Police killing Carlton Campbell. I want you in at the police station and kill him in the police station, 1980, and that caused the riots, right? And then the whole Brixton shelled out, and that was my first time experiencing direct racism because I was there.
Yeah.
I'm wrong in a Brixton. The whole of the store them I get broken down. Some say Lily White used to be one of the top sports.
So what I want to
I run go there if you go look what sneakers and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like 10 years old,
Yeah. So let me ask you this question because you're part of a juvenile team that many of those players, became part of the national setup. Though you didn't play, but you traveled with them. You leave William Knibb, you go overseas, and you're having this great time at St. Francis College.
That's right.
There was no calling, but nothing at all with the national football.
Actually, there was, and that's a good question. So
okay,
let's touch on that. Because we're going all over the place, but I'm glad because sometimes the mind are gonna take me. So pull me in as a
man. That's fine, man.
That right. So after St. Francis College, I finished St. Francis College in 1993. And I was working. We decided to take up our work. And I was working with Sprint. I think I was Sprint at the time, calling up people and then when they might eat dinner and say if you come switch to Sprint and see if I afford that thing there, right? I was doing that for a couple of months until I was like, no, we can't do this. We cannot call people 8 o'clock at night when they might have dinner with their family. And we're going to tell them, say if you go switch from AT&T to Sprint and stuff like that. We can't do that anymore. So after that, in 1993, I came back to Jamaica shortly thereafter, I think it was like 94, 95, Village qualified for National League again. And I came down Jamaica in 1995, and I played a couple of games for Village in, I think it was 1995. Jegge, correct me if I'm wrong. Clifton Clark is in the chat. He can tell me if I'm right or wrong. I think it was 1995 National League. So I actually played National League in 1995. Then I came back. Now, when I came back to the US, I was playing. There was the semi-pro league just starting. And they established a team in New York called New York Fever. And I was playing for New York Fever. And part of that contract was to get a tryout in England. So they set up 2 tryouts in England. One was with Tottenham and one was with Aston Villa. And that was in 1995. Yeah, I think it was in the second half of 1995. So I left Village National League, went back to the US. And that, as a matter of fact, that was the reason why I went back, because I got called to say, they got dates for my trials and stuff. So I thought that was a big thing for me to go to England and try out for Spurs and Aston Villa, right? So I missed the Spurs tryout. Got late, so I missed the Spurs tryout. But I did go to the Aston Villa tryout, and Brian Little was the manager there at the time. That was in 1995, and I was at Aston Villa for like a month, 6 weeks, probably about 2 months. Trying to get into the team, right? They signed it to what they call a non-contract. They would just pay you.
Right.
Pay a little money. But you're working, trying to see if you can get over that hump, But it didn't work out. Brian Little was fired as Aston Villa. Sorry, my bad. Let me back up here for a minute. It was Ron Atkinson, Big Ron. Big Ron was the manager at the time of Aston Villa. And they fired Ron Atkinson during that season, and they hired a gentleman by the name of Brian Little, who used to manage Leicester City at the time. And he came to Aston Villa, and then, when you have new manager, you got new personnel.
Right. Wasn't Shaka Hislop at
No, Shaka Hislop wasn't there. The Australian keeper, the name again, Bosnich. Mark Bosnich used to be at Aston Villa before he went to Manchester United. He was the keeper at the time. But Dwight York was there. Dwight York was there at Aston Villa, and Dwight York.
Yeah.
Dwight York and I played quite a few number of games, because Dwight was kind of working back. He was in the first team, dropped out for a while, and then when I came and stuff and we were playing, getting him up to speed and stuff, and then Dwight York moved back into the team. But so Brian Little came in with different personnel, and they said, well, my service is no longer required. They don't think that I can cut it and stuff like that. So that was it for Aston Villa. Didn't come true. They did, however, send me down to Walsall, which was Division 2 at the time. And I went to Walsall Football Club. And I was there for about 2 months, and I broke my leg in a practice game with Walsall. I broke my leg, and then I was out for a number of months and stuff. But it was never the same coming back, So coming back to full fitness, there's this confidence. This confidence thing, you can handle the physical, but it was always this confidence that's where what if it happens again kind of thing. But you push through that as well, right? Yeah. You continue playing and you push through that as well. But I found myself struggling to push through that, because I did not feel I was 100%, even with a fully healed leg. There's some things that I was really good at, quick turns and these kind of things, and I was struggling, and it wasn't mental as to why I couldn't. It was a physical limitation on me and stuff like that, right? And
Okay.
then so after Warsaw didn't work out, and then I was hitting like 1997 at the time. I just packed it up. I says, I'm coming back to America. You know, me try my best to do the best when we can in football to see where it can go. But being out of England at such a long time, right? Remember, me leave when I 11.
Sure. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then came back to England to try out 14 years later at 25. That's a 13-year gap,
Yeah.
and that is a lot of time to make up. If I was still in the system at 11 also, who to tell what would have happened,
Definitely.
But coming back at 25 and say, yeah, you're good, but I have somebody who's 18 who can do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it becomes like it comes like business decisions and stuff like that for teams,
Right.
and stuff. So so I decided to come back to America. When I came back to America in 1997. Yeah, came back to America in 1997. And said I'm gonna work, and then I was still playing ball, but just playing keep fit locally and stuff like that. But that is when I kind of moved and said, all right, gonna continue education and stuff, and that's when I started my master's program, and then took me about 3 years to do my master's and stuff like that, and then ended up the corporate world and work and all
There you go.
stuff like that, right? Because I knew I had a brain, I had half a brain, right? So I just figured let me use it since the physical can't, physical is not taking me there anymore.
Yeah.
So I always encourage people that if you have a level of skill in football, try and take it as far as you go. If you're track or if you're netball, if you're basketball, whatever you want, try as far as you can, but don't alienate it or don't alienate the education part,
Because you never know, you can get an injury that sets you back.
That's right.
In the sport, yeah.
If you can diversify, then diversify. You never go wrong by diversifying. If you put your hopes and dreams on one
Absolutely.
road, and then those are the things that can happen. But luckily, I always said, if it doesn't work out, it's fine. But it's not a lack of a trying, right?
There you go. You did your best.
I guess the best wasn't good enough. But I could be one to say, "Boy, damn, like me never got Jamaica." Me know, say me up. Playing England, I'll probably set up in the England team at some point and stuff like that. But I guarantee you this, and I tell you this, management moving to Jamaica was an incredible experience for me.
Yeah.
Because, as I said earlier, even growing up with Jamaicans in England, it was a completely different culture shock coming to Jamaica and meeting Jamaicans in Jamaica. Because what I saw in Jamaica and how people are were not the Jamaicans who I grew up with and seen in England,
Yes.
So it was a challenge. It was a challenge to me, and at a young age, I didn't know how to deal with it, especially some of the kids in my age, 11 and 12. And, coming from England at 11 and 12, kids were cool, right? You play football, you go to school, right? But the 12 and 13-year-olds now in
Jamaica,
a little bit loosey goosey, and that and I was a bit tight. So there was a disconnect there. Like
I had an accent.
Right. How I'm gonna figure out these kids, them, I'm not understanding them at all and whatever. And it was really hard on me and stuff like that. But one thing I had, what they always gravitate to, is that I could have played football, right? And then it was then from at least I had a common denominator.
So how come they never call you English when you're playing football? What English?
They call me English too, man. I think I'm about 1 million names. Looking at the chat room, man, they will put you out there, but they will be about one. Every week they give you a new name.
Yeah. All right. I have a couple of questions for you. Stan Cranky, this is Casey from the Buffalo team, says, man, did he become a Jamaican citizen?
No, I didn't become a Jamaican citizen all that time, and I tell you why. And it wasn't
all this time,
and it wasn't because of lack of trying. Let me tell you something, man. I went down to the Jamaica consulate in 3rd Avenue, Manhattan, years ago, probably over 10 years ago. And I said I was going to put in my papers and become a Jamaican citizen, right? It should be no problem. You know, my mother Jamaican, my father Jamaican. You know, I was in Jamaica for 6 years, right? 6+ years. So it shouldn't be a problem. So we go and we fill out the form,
Yes.
everything that you need. Did you know that it took about 5 years for the Jamaica consulate respond to the form that we filled out 5 years ago? And they said they need more information.
Whoa.
Information. My mother's name is not how it's spelled on our birth certificate. Therefore, me have to update the form. They're telling me this 5 years later. You know,
You know what? I will say this to you, Chiwali. You know that a lot of the players who want to represent Jamaica, like there's a lot of them have incorrect spelling on the great grandparent or grandparents' name.
right?
And that has been the problem. So I mean, and sometimes the thing, isn't this an easy thing? It's not the passport. I understand is the issue. It is the citizenship part.
It's the citizenship part is the
Yeah,
challenge. But here's
whoa.
the thing. Why it will take 5 years to respond to it? That's like
Whoa.
5 years. I totally forget about it. Like 5 years until this form come, and then telling me after 5 years that I need to make a correction on my mother's birth certificate in order for me to continue. We said, not give me too much work for the man. Let me just leave it. You know? Yeah. So up to now, I'm not a Jamaican
So you're
citizen.
not a Jamaican.
I'm not a Jamaican citizen, but I don't care what Jamaican government wants about me, man. Man, a man knows me a Jamaican see me. When I watch that, I don't need no damn Jamaican passport anyway. I live in Jamaica, I'm a citizen. I don't know what you want to say. I'll call me the illegal immigrant then.
All right. All right, boss. Gunners boss, ask him about the Broadwater Farm riots, management.
Broadwater Farm riots.
That must have been in England. Broadwater.
No, I don't know about that.
Okay.
You know, either that was after when we leave or way before me leave. I don't remember about Broadwater at all.
Right. And then he also is asking if St. Francis is in New York or Jersey City.
There's two St. Francis. There's one in New York, Brooklyn, and then there's another one in Pennsylvania. So you have St. Francis, PA, and then you have St. Francis, New York. But no Jersey City.
Okay.
If there might be a school in Jersey City called St. Francis, but it's not a college. It's not a college. It may be a prep school or something like that, maybe. But not Jersey City. Yeah.
All right, so let me get some more questions. People, if you have questions as we are coming to the end, you can just shoot them and we'll put them up. And remember, please hit the like button. Don't be afraid to like the content. Show Chiwali your love for him and respect for him. Ricky Fur says, how the man develop a love for Liverpool?
I'm a dog, Ricky Furman. Yeah, so my father was always a Liverpool fan, so you know I have no choice, right? I'm a father. You know, but my father used to carry me to a Liverpool game. Carry me to a Liverpool game one time in 1976 or 77. I was like 6 or 7 at the time. Take the British rail, go up north, watch a game, came back. And I came back a Scouser. You know, love Liverpool. First football match ever. Love Liverpool. Kevin Keegan, John Tashak, Emlyn Hughes.
You grew up with all Kevin Campbell, playing the same thing with Kevin Campbell.
Yes.
Are you not an Arsenal? Are you not an Arsenal fan?
All right. So yeah, no. Kevin Campbell and me and Kevin Campbell know each other from we about 8. Even before about 8, 9 at the time, a Little League. Because remember, I tell you about Little League in London. Well, Kevin Campbell used to play for a team called R Whites, and I used to play for a team named Sky Blues. So we used to play against each other, you know, Kevin Campbell. And then at 11 years old, when we were too old for Little League now, and we're going into secondary school, we ended up at the same school. You understand? Henry Thornton. So Kevin Campbell used to play at Henry Thornton. But when we got there and realized that blows on skirt, you're there Henry Thornton too, we knew we were gonna come with an immaculate team because Kevin Campbell was a big player even back then, because Kevin Campbell was bigger than us, right? We were all top players, but Kevin Campbell in size, was bigger than us,
Okay.
And stuff, yeah. And then we had Michael Thomas too, right? Michael Thomas used to play for Arsenal and play for Liverpool as well. Michael Thomas used to be about 2 or 3 years above us.
So those guys ever play for Jamaica, man?
Yeah, so Henry Thornton used to
Kevin
be
Campbell, Kevin Campbell of Jamaican heritage.
Of course.
And Michael Thomas.
Of course, man. Mrs. Campbell and Mr. Campbell, I love them. I love the parents and everything, man. Straight from Arlington Road, around Brixton. And that's where Kevin Campbell come from, right? And Michael Thomas come from Stockwell. I think, yeah, Michael Thomas, me remember Mickey come from Stockwell and stuff. So all of those players back then had Jamaican parents. But I don't think that would turn and say English people can come play for Jamaica.
Oh, that it wasn't really as
there yet. It wasn't there yet.
Okay.
It wasn't there yet in Jamaica. Jamaica was Jamaican players,
Yeah, it's interesting though, because you were born there. What do you think about, because I guess some people are kind of torn about players who are born in England who have Jamaica coming to play and saying, I think, listen, like you said, no matter where you're born, you're Jamaican.
Yeah,
what is your, I mean, you can quickly give us your take on that.
Yeah, so as the artist them say, right? No matter where you come from, you're Jamaican, you're Jamaican. I have no problem with English-born players, Jamaican background, playing for Jamaica. I think it's necessary to get to that next step, because not of a lack of trying, but the Jamaica football infrastructure is not self-sustaining. And the reason why is because Jamaica, we love football, but we are not a footballing nation. You get what I'm saying? The difference is there. Jamaica love football, but we are not a footballing nation because we do not invest in an infrastructure to make it self-sustaining to become a footballing nation, right? We had a semblance of it, a short spell, right? Going into the World Cup in 1998, Reggae Boys, right? That was an immense feat for Jamaica to get to the World Cup, right? That was brilliant. But the infrastructure, the underlying platform to build your house on, to be self-sustaining, it's not there. We have a private enterprise entities in Jamaica who are only there for a limited time and then they go, right? And then the same as the what they call the JFF also, right? Becomes a power grab and all of these things here. But you have, in order to become a footballing nation, you have to make football and the development and the investment of it central to your planning. You can't make the football team itself just be central to your planning. Otherwise, you're looking to just skim the cream off the top and just, that's it. And I think that is the approach that Jamaica football has taken ever since. We've been to the World Cup one time, and that's why I say Jamaica is not a footballing nation. We've been to the World Cup one time, which is great. But prior to that, we never go. And then even after 1980, we haven't been back. So it's time for a holistic approach and view to the game of football. And it requires different people with different thinking, with risk-taking approaches to the game of football. And I think once Jamaica can go down that road and understand that development is something that you just don't, and investment is something that you don't cut corners on, then I think Jamaica can be on the road developing something self-sustaining. That's my take on it.
Some more comments here. Clifton Clark says you have over 100 different names. Kevin Keegan says Cuba had a next nickname, Good Vibes. Wayne Harris says man a yardman star. Then Gigi Bibi says the comedian Glenn Campbell Tito was also born in England. He went to Jamaica when he was 4. He just got his Jamaican citizenship in 2021. Yeah, that's big. Ricky First says accent gone long time, old English. B. Douglas says also St. Francis Hospital in Hartford, Connecticut.
Right.
Robert Sanchez says St. Francis University in Pennsylvania.
Right.
St.
That's
Francis
St. Francis.
College is
That's
in
right.
Brooklyn, New
That's right.
York.
That's right.
And then Claudia is saying, I need to stop trying to convert you. You're a Liverpool man, so we must leave the thing alone.
That's right, man. Liverpool for life, man.
Then Yashi Prince says, King Baller, based on your experience, what would be your recommendation to the Jamaica Football Federation in recruiting young Jamaicans that live outside Jamaica?
Young Jamaicans that live outside Jamaica. So, that's a good question, Yoshi. I was always under the impression that, well, we have Jamaican players who are based in the US right now, right? Who play in the MLS and other leagues as well. So I was always thought that they were plugged into the Jamaican national team. That's my assumption that they are, you know. But you know, if that's not the case, then it should be the case. I was wondering as to, well, how are they playing? And if they're playing in the leagues up here, then they must have been playing in the leagues in Jamaica. So I would always thought that, you know, there's a line there already that's already established. You know, but in terms of like, if you're talking about young Jamaicans who came to America to live, and then
not just in America, but even in the academies in England, like a Kevin Campbell's son, right?
Right. So all right, okay, yeah. All right. If that's the case, if you're looking at it that way, nah, that's never gonna happen. That will never happen because, as I said, big football is self-sustaining, right? And if you have a guy like Kevin Campbell who have Jamaican parents and his son who is also playing, I think his son is playing professionally for Stoke right now, right? His first direct line is going to play for England, you know? So that's where the motivation is going to be, right? Every kid strives to go play for England. They don't strive to play for Jamaica, right? The reality is that if that striving for England don't materialize, then Jamaica is always another option. You get what I'm saying? So that's how it's going to be, and I mean that's how it is, and you can't really blame anybody for that, you know.
Okay, we have a few more because we almost running up into 2 hours. Good talk. Gunners Boss says St. Francis Prep is a basketball powerhouse in Jersey City. I think that's different from St. Francis College, though.
And that's what I said earlier. I said you might have a St. Francis Prep in Jersey City, but what I'm talking about is college, right? So St. Francis College in New York, St. Francis College in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Carlton Claggy Alexander says, good Jersey General. Heard about the band, but never really get a chance to see the eye play. Respect.
So, well, right. I don't know. If this is Claggy from...
Yeah, man. What are the Cornwall College?
Cornwall College, Claggy, man. Bless up yourself, man. Get a big ball on this end. Yeah, man. Yeah. Claggy, I look elder than me, you know. Claggy a play when Jasbo time and Euro time.
Yeah.
Claggy a big baller, man. And we have come up as youth and we learn about Claggy. And Claggy one of them we have a supreme team back when we were young too. You know?
Yeah. Then Ian, then Gunners Boss says Ian Wright is also from South London, New Cross era. Did you happen to play any form of football with him?
No, I didn't get to play with Ian Wright. I think Ian Wright. I think we're around the same age, you know. I think we're around the same age, so we're in that same generation. But I never get to play Ian Wright. Ian Wright come from the southeast side. New Cross is southeast London. I'm southwest. No, it's not too far away, you know. But when you talk about southwest, you're talking about Kevin Cam, Mickey Thomas, myself, you know. Andy Gray. Andy Gray used to play for Crystal Palace too. Andy Gray used to go to Henry Thornton too. So Andy Gray, a black Andy Gray. We used to have a white Andy Gray, who used to play for Aston Villa and Everton. We used to have a black Andy Gray that used to play for Crystal Palace. But that Andy Gray used to play for Henry Thornton too, my school. My school was a footballing school. A pair of footballers come out there. Trevor Brooking that used to play for England and play for West Ham. Trevor Brooking used to go to Henry Thornton. Jimmy Hill that used to commentate on radio. Jimmy Hill used to go to Henry Thornton. So be a footballing school, you know.
Okay. Fitzroy Duncan says, what does he think about Klopp?
Klopp are the best manager in the world. I mean, come on, man. You know, best manager in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to take all cups this season. All cups.
Huh?
All cups this season fall into Klopp this season.
Oh, so you're winning 4 cups this season?
Yeah, this week we take Chelsea, take the League Cup, take the FA Cup, take the Premier League and the Champions League.
Okay, that's what's gonna happen.
That is what's gonna happen. I put money on it.
I hope when the season finish, you know, and I try calling you, I can find you, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We are take every cup. All the sauce at we are taking.
All right. I hear you, boss. I have nothing to say though, because my side here around 50, you know, so I'm just go on the easy, you know. What you are going
we can't talk about Arsenal, man. There's nothing to talk about. Come on.
Redford Murray says the man with the left foot.
Bless up Redford.
Boss Thomas says, keep dreaming. Chelsea for life.
No, now, hold on. Let me just make it be clear now, right? If you're our generation, you cannot be a Chelsea supporter.
Yeah, it's just new people support Chelsea and Man City.
Our generation don't recognize Chelsea.
Yeah.
So if you have a man in our generation, say him a Chelsea supporter, he must straight wagonist. Because there's only 4 or 5 teams you can support from my generation.
Arsenal,
Liverpool.
Man U, Liverpool, West Ham, Aston Villa.
Call it Spurs too.
And
people always love Spurs
yeah.
from the FA Cup days. So Jamaicans already respect Spurs, love Spurs, right? Them are the team. Nobody no mention Chelsea. Nobody no mention Man City. If you're in my generation and you support them 2 teams, you're straight wagonist. Yeah, talk to you. You're straight wagon.
All right. Fitzroy Duncan says you said the same thing about Kenny Rogers.
No, I'm Kenny Rogers. I'm Brendan Rogers.
I know, man. I call him Kenny Rogers.
yeah, but they call him Kenny Rogers. Don't call him Kenny Rogers. Hey, Brendan Rogers. Him do a couple years and him almost come close, but you know, it is what it is, you know.
GGBB said, Chihuahua, man, me tell you bad things, you know. Chelsea for life.
Hey, Gigi, a Chelsea sniper, you know. So, all right, let me just back off here, you know. I wasn't really talking to the ladies, you know. I was talking to somebody specific, you know, who I'm and you know better, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was a good conversation. So I'm going to allow you, you know, some time to wrap up and to big up all the persons. Again, people, listen. There, it's close to 300 persons who have watched this video. We have like at this point around 45 likes. We have to do better. I mean, Chihuahua, he held nothing back. He shared his story, shared the ups and the downs and the recovery. And just the path that he's on, messages and stuff to encourage you. We can do better. Hit the like button, man.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And
you
support.
can't have so much people on and you're not hitting the like button, boy, I'm not really lazy. Smash that like button and show the man some love, man. We have a good platform here, man. You know, you can take it to the next level. Show your support, man. You know, hit that like button and share, man. Share with your friends. And then connect in and stuff and get some of the content that man put out, you know. Yeah, man. Let me just give you some more because the comments are coming in and then I'll let you wrap up. Stefan Brown says it was an honor playing with you, bro. Deadly left foot. Yes, man. We respect Baidu, man. Baidu was a great William player. Plus, he was also a track star as well. So Baidu was extremely fast, man. You know, so big up Baidu in tracks world. Big up Jege. Jege was a tracks man too. Yashi Prince says Liverpool for life. Chris Wayne says, with Yoshida, we can't take him in. Then we know why I said that, you know, but yes, Yoshi, Liverpool for life, man.
Chris, when he's asking if you played against Craig Butler in college, I think he was at Pace University at the time in the same division.
No, Pace was not in Division One. I don't think Pace was in Division One. Otherwise, would have probably played him.
Okay.
We were in the Northeast Conference in Division One, and Pace was just down the road from St. Francis College. You go over Brooklyn Bridge, and you're there right there at Pace, you know. But no, we never played Pace. I didn't even know Pace had a football team. Yeah,
Okay. You don't touch Chelsea on my team. Blue Mountain BMG says, don't touch Chelsea on my team. That.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You'll be getting touched all right this weekend. Kapow!
Yashi Prince says, who is the top captain?
Jordan Henderson, man.
You know what,
Jordan Henderson, man.
I go back to William Knibb. Chad says William Knibb for life. Fitzroy Grizzly. So who are the toughest defenders you played? Your face playing for Village?
I think in National League, that would probably be Gerald Scott and Zarbo. Yeah, they used to play for Seba, right? And Gerald Scott is always hard to play because Gerald Scott a bigger man for me, but a man who I respect and look up to and stuff like that. But Gerald Scott was extremely good, right? A very forward ball playing center back, you know. But he was extremely good at he was extremely good in the air, you know, and you know, shutting down space and stuff like that. Anticipating is very good. Yeah, I would say Eero Scott was probably the toughest defender I play against. But and I don't say that out of bias, right? Because we used to play football Sunday. We play pick up in a Falmouth, you know, we play against each other and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, man. All right, last question, and then I'll let you wrap up. Robert says, ask him where I'm watching the game Sunday. If him the New York, it's Carragher's.
Yeah, the Irish American pub in the city. Yeah, that's right. Caracas has his new place and stuff. But no, unfortunately, I won't be there watching it in New York. But I will be watching. You know, I mean, you know, it's Liverpool we're talking here for the League Cup. You know, so.
Yeah. Listen, I really want Liverpool to beat Chelsea because that kind of works in my favor. You don't
know. Of course. That's okay. Yeah. Chelsea man, I'm not happy, but that's how you go.
Yeah, man. But go ahead and you know, just wrap up. Big up who you need to big up. Heal up who you need to heal up. And then again, thank you so much for coming on. Very good discussion. Like I said, you didn't get all the subjects in CXCs, but you still have your masters and made it in the corporate world in the United States. So just great things for youngsters to take on. You understand me? Again, an unconventional means of even being in high school. Wasn't at one of the traditional high schools in terms of winning, but still made a name for yourself. So that's great. You know, I mean, so very good story, and I hope others will be inspired by your story. But go ahead and take some time, see what you have to say, and wrap up.
Yeah, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and speak. You know, I really appreciate it and stuff like that. And you know, I hope everybody who came to the chat actually had the last 2 hours, you know, was worthwhile and stuff like that. And maybe they would have learned something new about me that they didn't even know, even growing up with me and stuff like that. So, you know, for everybody in the chat room, I do appreciate you coming out and, you know, spending a bit of time with us and stuff like that. So for the young coming up, you know, I strongly recommend, and I can't say this enough, is that keep your head down in school, man, and do the schoolwork. I can't stress that enough, right? Do the schoolwork. You have your skill, you can run, you can play football, you can play netball, whatever it is. You keep on with that and developing your skill, and at the same time, you're developing your education, because your education is never ever going to fail you. I'm telling you, you keep running with your education, it will never fail you, right? Your skill, your physical constraints can always fail you at some point in your life, right? But your education will never fail you. So, you know, it's not hard to do two at once, right? So, you know, that's my word to the young generation coming up is that, and I know it's tough out there, especially in Jamaica, right? Where everything is loosey goosey now, right? And that age bracket, we're supposed to provide the guidance and stuff that we used to get when we were younger. Well, that level of people have moved on now, live abroad and stuff like that, right? So there's a gulf in Jamaica. The youth, they're not getting the guidance, or the guidance that they're getting is not the right guidance, right? So we need more people in Jamaica to step up, right, and be accountable and be responsible for the youth then, because if we don't have a younger generation for Jamaica, then we're not gonna have a Jamaica. And if this is what we're turning out in Jamaica right now, then Jamaica can never be the great Jamaica it always has been. You know, everybody in the world respect Jamaica. We turn out, right, but we can't make the bad outweigh the good of what we produce. So we need to elevate the youth them and show them the right way, the good way, so they can come up and be responsible just the same, you know. And so that is what my message is to the young.
Yeah, there you have it, people. Trelawny da Silva, born in England,
That's
but
right.
a Jamaican from birth. Right?
Illegal immigrant.
don't, don't, don't have the passport yet, but you can't get any more Jamaican than this man.
Hopefully we can get it before Glenn the comedian.
Yeah, you understand. Also, a diehard Liverpool fan from London, England.
Right.
Very strange things. A lot of strange things about this buddy. I had some difficulties, but I mean, like I said, didn't allow the difficulties to prevent him from excelling to the highest levels in life. And I mean, and this is what others need to do, like what he's doing. I know that he's part of the committee or the group of alumni from William Knibb who give back to that school, especially the footballing program. And I hope that will extend to the parish of Trelawny, so we can see, like I said to Jagan the other night, to see the village resurge again, the Invaders and the Baka Star and the Falmouth FC and the Duncans, to see Trelawny football rise again. I hope that the work that they are doing will, like I said, go beyond the borders of William Knibb High School and infiltrate and affect the entire Trelawny, because that's how it starts. If every parish start playing enough football, quality football, and producing youngsters, then overall Jamaica will have better footballers. And so again, really want to thank you for coming on. For all the persons in the comment section, thank you for staying for the 2 hours that we have been here. It was really, really a joy. I know you have all names. We're trying to get as many people as possible to come on. We have a couple more out of William Knibb that we're going to speak to. We're going we have codfish that we can talk about with us. We have with us. He's just there. He likes to get everybody else to come and do interview. You understand me? And that him. So don't worry yourself. We have more coming up for you. More out of Trelawny and other parishes in Jamaica. Again, thank you so much. It was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night. Again, thank you. Sir. Yeah, man, Sir De Silva.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, so there you go, people. Listen, I want to say a big thank you to all of you for being on, for being here, for sticking, for staying with us all this time. You have yourself a wonderful rest of the night. If you have not yet, before you leave, right, make sure you subscribe on your way out. It's very easy. It takes less than 5 seconds. It takes less than 5 seconds to like the video. It takes less than 5 seconds to share the video. Make sure you do that, right? We have great programs in store for you for the rest of this week, so stick and stay with I Am Sure Sports. So we want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, Prestige Finance lending a helping hand when you need it the most. If you need a loan of up to 100,000 Jamaican dollars, give Prestige Finance a call at 876 884 7390. Low interest rate, no processing fee, and same day processing. Also, big thank you to Launch Legacy. Launch Legacy, where they handle risk and seek legacy. For all your personal insurance needs in Canada and the USA, visit them at launchlegacy.com or call or text 647 989 0782. Also, don't forget to check out Trick Nick. Yes, they have those wonderful products that they make. Trick Nick is an authentic Jamaican a Jamaican owned company that uses authentic Jamaican herbs and spices to make all their products. So check them out on all their platforms and make sure you buy and you get the I Am Sure Sports 25% discount on their jerk sauce, their barbecue sauce, their curry paste, wonderful products. Check them out and show them some love. Again, have a wonderful rest of the evening. Be safe and looking forward to having you again on I Am Sure Sports. I'm Man's Man, the 1738 we call it. I'm over and out.